Hello and welcome back to Warsword Conquest, and we are now about to attack the last and final fief that the Realm of Chaos has available to them. Now, one thing you gotta know, this is my current army composition. I literally just went around the Chaos Dwarf faction and basically just tried to... I basically just tried to get as many Chaos Dwarves as possible so that I could level them into crossbowmen. That's basically it. That is literally the only reason why I did that. Otherwise, this is the reason. Here you go. We're going to get them to sally out. That's exactly what we wanted every single time. So, yes, because this is literally probably one of the most fiendish siege layouts I've ever seen. Also, I found Marcus, by the way. Yes, I found Marcus, and now I'm able to use the Skaven dual-wielding blades, which I have to say I'm very much looking forward to. So let's see if I can actually do this appropriately. I'm not sure if I'm even going to be able to be honest. There we go. Come on, get them. Get them all. There we go. Okay, this is actually pretty good, I think, so far. I actually don't even know, because I'm not really able to crush through blocks. I'm gonna have to heal myself, unfortunately. I'm gonna switch to my ball and chain. I feel like maybe what we're gonna need to do is use the dual wield when we actually have a decisive advantage over the opponent. In other words, we need to use it when we are fighting ranged troops or something like that, because as it stands right now, we do not have that advantage. Oh, they've got some mage or something like that is definitely causing us to have some problems here. Okay, yeah, this is a bit problematic. Okay, I don't even know where the mage is actually. That's going to be a bit of a problem, isn't it? Okay, yeah, we're going to have to see what we can do about that. Alright, so there you go. It seems like we were able to achieve victory. I literally had to kite the enemies all the way over here. I also had to chug another healing potion, which I'm not a big fan of, but, you know, needs must and everything. Isn't that right? Yes, indeed. Anyway, as you can see, basically, this is the path that I took, okay? So I'm just going to run you through it real fast because I want you to know exactly what happened. So here's the thing. I got cornered. That was the reason why I actually had to use a healing potion to begin with. I got cornered over here, up there, because obviously that's a dead end. There's no way for me to go anywhere, you know, that sort of thing. And then what I did was I went this way. I escaped by hitting them overhead and, you know, trying to... Oh, wow, okay, they actually just kicked me out. So, unfortunately, I can't show you. But I basically just went through the field, I jumped over the fence, went into the sort of dock water area, jumped into the water, and then I could use my range and the slowed speed of the opponent to kind of separate them, and that really helped us out. Anyway, there you go. There's a wonderful, wonderful victory for us. We're going to have to go in again, and they're going to be sallying out once more. Now, what I'm going to do this time is I'm actually going to tell my forces to hold position all the way back here. And I'm very much hoping that this is going to make a, shall we say, a small difference. I'm not expecting it to be an insane difference or anything, but I'm thinking something at least a little bit better so that our forces can maybe survive somewhat longer, as beforehand they literally just got themselves murdered really, really easily. This is a Slanesh chosen. Let's just eliminate that. Thank you very much. One thing you've got to realize as well, by the way, this ball and chain weapon actually has a lot more range than you might expect. And it's one of those things that actually always... So it's very surprising to me, actually, how much range it really has. And that's really something that we have to continually remind ourselves of, in my opinion. Because if you don't... just look at this. Look at how far away I can actually hit. Look at that. I'm literally hitting them from here. Hitting them from here right now. That is so far away from the, you know, from the opponent. It's just absolutely crazy. And one thing we got to do... Oh, no. Really? Okay, I definitely didn't want these guys to actually walk along the walkway here. I kind of wanted them to fight me so that our forces could continue shooting these guys while they were in the water. That would have made much more sense. But unfortunately, they're deciding to be a little bit difficult, aren't they? Yes, but we should be fine here as long as I can just continually priority target the higher tier enemies. They're the ones that are going to provide us with the greatest headache. Oh yeah, by the way, someone actually said that if you turn off HDR mode, you can stop the red screen from occurring. Unfortunately, I have tried it. HDR mode is always off for me anyway. But I tried turning it on and then turning it off again, the classic IT solution. But the fact is, I did actually try to do that, and it doesn't seem to have made any difference, which is somewhat unfortunate, really. It would be would be nice if we could figure out how to actually disable that, but I don't know. Is it worth it? I think so, yes, because it is kind of annoying, but it's if the modding team wants to do that, then that they want to do that. That's fine, because for me personally, they've made an incredible mod. They've made an absolutely incredible mod that I feel needs to be, applauded. And yes, sure, there are definitely some things that are not, super amazing. Like, for example, the red screen. That's basically the only thing I can think of right now, to be honest. So, there's that. And I have heard through the grapevine that a very, very intriguing update is on the way. Oh yes, it's not. That's the thing. It's not even. I think it's a quick fix. I think it's another one of those quick fixes. However, the update that I'm thinking of right now is in my opinion at least, is going to be so impactful that it is going to fundamentally shift how you decide to play your character and what kind of character you want to play as. And I just cannot wait to see exactly what happens with it, because it makes me very excited right now, because I'm kind of like eagerly anticipating this, because this particular change, I'm not going to spoil what it is, because it's going to be so good, it really is. And I don't know when they're going to come out with it, by the way, so, don't quote me on anything like that. But if they come out with it, in the next week or two or whatever, then that's going to be fantastic. That would be amazing. But obviously, I can't quote on when they're going to be doing that. I'm not going to rush them. That's just not, I understand how long these kinds of things take, and so I'm just going to be eagerly anticipating it. I'm just going to be waiting with bated breath, because it is going to be super fantastic. But yeah, as I say, it fundamentally changes the considerations and the various questions that you may be asking yourself when you first create your character. You're going to be like, oh, do I want to play this? Do I want to play that? It really, really changes dramatically how you might approach character creation. So yeah, it's going to be super, super fun, or at least I think it will be, at least. And it kind of makes me want to play, a lizard man. Yeah, I know, but not a saurus. It actually makes me want to play a skink. And that's all I'm going to say, alright? That's all I'm going to say. It's not specific to skinks, by the way, the quick fix or anything like that. I'm going to actually just take another potion. Because amusingly enough, when you take these potions, when you're in a siege and you don't go out onto the world map, you do get basically an unlimited amount of potions, because as you can quite clearly tell, I now have 4 potions again instead of just 2. So I can only hope that we are not actually chugging another 2, and then we're going to end up with 0. I can only hope that that has not expended every single bit, but I shouldn't actually need to actually drink even another one, so we should be absolutely fine. But yeah, unfortunately, these guys have all, yes, they have all but killed every single one of my reinforcements, which I gotta say I am sorely disappointed by. I'm quite actually surprised by this, to be honest, because there was a demon prince. There was a demon prince among these fellows, and apparently that was just, well, apparently that was just way too much. Apparently, the demon prince just couldn't survive. I guess that is to be expected. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that. But anyway, I guess I'll just eliminate the rest of these. It shouldn't be too bad. And if I do get low, I'll just take a healing potion. They can't poison me or anything like that. Or maybe they can poison me, but the envenomed, the envenomed status attribute isn't actually going to affect us at all, I don't think, in this situation. Alright, there you go, we've defeated the enemy, and yeah, as you can see, Gorfus Smashmon has now, yeah, he's literally just getting kills after kills after kills after kills. And I'm actually wondering what is happening here now, because it seems like we can't actually do anything. Can I call for a meeting with the castle commander? Are they going to surrender? No. Oh, okay. That's actually kind of interesting. I don't actually know why they wouldn't surrender. Let me actually just have a look. 296? Why do they still have 296? Well, I've literally been fighting them a great deal here, but it seems like, wait a minute. What's actually happening here? They're not actually allowing me to go in again. This is a bit of a strange situation. Okay, I guess I'm just going to walk away a little bit here, and we're just going to see what happens. Okay, this guy, we might want to fight him. He's a Nurgle fellow. Alright, so I have 5 troops against the... 5 troops against 31. Yeah, that sounds like a great plan, doesn't it? Okay, well, I'm just going to use the Skaven Blades for this, I guess. And, I was kind of hoping that these Chaos Dwarves would actually survive a little bit longer so that they could potentially level up into Fire Glaives and Annihilators eventually. That would have been absolutely fantastic, but you know how it is. Sometimes that's just not how it goes. Oh, that was a nice hit. Whoa, that was very, very cool. Yeah, but these are dual wield. They do so much damage. They do so much damage, and I'm very, very, very happy that I was able to find them. They were like what, 65,000 or 70,000, something like that. So very, very expensive. But thankfully, we did have enough to be able to purchase them, because I am actually, well, at least in the last week or two, I was gaining in cash. I did gain about 4,500 from our wages, which I'm kind of surprised at. I guess it's because I don't have a particularly large army at the moment, and you know, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. Okay, so there you go. That's a victory for us. Super easy, of course, as you might expect. And there we go. Okay, he obviously managed to escape. Alright, so I'm actually not entirely sure what is even happening here, because I literally... Oh, it's because I don't have enough people, isn't it? That's probably the reason. Okay, yeah, these guys are going to be fighting me. I'm gonna deal with them. You don't have to worry about it. Alright, so we got a bunch of demon princes for us to attack here. I've gone into the Bay of Blades once again, and obviously I'm attempting to win. Yeah. Yeah, I actually didn't mean to tell them to hold their ground just now. Anyway, we're just going to be telling our forces just to charge straight on in here, even though they're basically just all axe throwers at this point, which is really quite funny. I just rescued those from a battle, and, well... that's pretty much it. You know, there's a lot of people in my army right now that are basically just a smattering of units, and they're not particularly amazing or anything like that, but, you know, they're there. That's basically the situation as it happens right now. It's literally like, oh yes, those units, they were there. Indeed. But yeah, thankfully these guys are just sallying out every single time. This obviously makes things much, much easier, but it is not easy. That is for sure. I am having to really pull out most of the stops here just to be able to basically break even, you know. I don't even know, because as it stands, look at what's happening right here. If I weren't, you know, holding my units' positions all the way at the back of the battlefield here, we'd lose every single time, basically. You know, we would lose every single one of our forces every single time, with the exception of all the surgery skill saving them. You know, because as you can see, look at this. Even with holding position, we ended up losing this many people. It's actually crazy. Also, Archaon was here. Hargroth was here. There's a bunch of other people, as well as the demon princes as well. And we're just going to be, once again, forcing them to sally out. Now, this literally is probably the only strategy that I can think of, with the exception of obviously having your own casters and a lot of ranged troops, that would make any sense to utilize whatsoever. Because in this strategy, you're going to be able to do pretty much whatever you want However, obviously it does have the added difficulty that you're going to have these kinds of annoying circumstances where you're consistently having to go back on in. You're consistently having ranged troops, which obviously are not particularly good in a sally out unless you have very high tier 1s, as we've seen in the past. They can actually be extremely effective if you have ranged troops that actually do damage. You can then have an entire firing line of incredibly strong projectiles flying towards your opponents, and it can be extremely satisfying to see that, but unfortunately sometimes that's just not how it goes. You are going to have these situations as well where maybe you don't have those really high powered units, and as a result you're going to have this situation that I'm in right now, which is where we kind of have to just make do. We have to do our best with what we've been given, because I don't have enough time to level up these chaos dwarves, you know? I have to eliminate the realm of chaos right now. We need to eliminate them, otherwise they are going to continue being a thorn in our side. And what's funny about this is that we're not actually at war against anyone else, if you can believe it. I'm very surprised actually about this, to be honest, but anyway, for some reason these guys are now running over here. This is really strange, but yeah, as you can see, this is a super difficult position that we're in right now. I mean, it's not even bad, because there's only 50 enemies, but you could see that 50 is actually a pretty staggering number, but this is only possible because we are a Herald of Khorne, basically. As I say, you could probably do something really amazing if you had good skills as a magic user, but I have had very limited success as a caster in the past. For example, I created a vampire caster. I didn't have the best of times, actually, playing that character. I was having a hard time actually earning experience. I think that is one of the minor gripes that I have with Warsword Conquest at the moment, is that when you are using spells, it seems to take longer to earn experience than if you were to just go into melee or use a bow or something along those lines. So I'm not sure why that is. I guess it might be a balancing issue, because obviously if you think about how many times we've seen, you know, Tzeentch sorcerers or I don't even know who get 50, 60, 70, 80, maybe even 100 kills in one battle with one spell usage. That says everything you need to know, because if they're capable of doing that on a regular basis, then the player should be able to do that as well, and as a result they're going to be leveling up really fast. But for me personally, I don't see that as being a problem. For me, that just sounds like a fun time, you know? That just sounds like a fun time, because if you have the ability to use these high level spells, then I feel like you kind of should be rewarded for that. Not, you know, not penalized. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. Because for me personally, I want to be as strong as possible. My character should be in a position to inflict massive damage and get rewarded for that. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it was super overpowered for casters to be able to earn significant amounts of experience just from one spell cast. But that's what they're designed to do, you know? That is literally what they're designed to do. They are supposed to, you know, be the units that can completely obliterate enemy forces. Because you're not going to see that kind of thing with I don't know. I mean, maybe you would see that kind of thing with a ranged character, or, well, I don't know about a regular warrior archetype, because obviously right now I'm a Herald of Khorne, which obviously is very unique in the way that it has its, you know, blood frenzy and all that stuff. But I don't know. I'm actually not entirely sure whether this would be possible with a regular warrior. I guess it would be, but you're gonna have to chug potions. I'm gonna assume, because if you remember Slythe's series, he's obviously a Skaven, and he has ward save. He has the exact same amount of ward save that, you know, Gorefist has. But that's pretty much it. He's got ward save, he's got dodge, he's got ignore pain. He doesn't have advanced ignore pain, Slythe, that is. And so he's much more fragile than Gorefist, obviously, because he also doesn't have regeneration or anything like that. Regeneration, obviously, is making a big, big difference when we are in Blood Frenzy. I'm not a lizard man that has regeneration inherently, you know, because they can get that. And, oh wow, there's a bunch of demon princes in there as well. Okay, yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to continue telling these guys to run away from the front line. Because this is actually something that I've worked out in my time besieging a bunch of things off screen. And that's that if I actually get a massive amount of kills, and I exit Blood Frenzy and then enter Blood Frenzy again, and continue to tell my forces to hold position, and if the enemy doesn't really have the opportunity to eliminate them that easily, then what I can do is I can effectively create an entire army out of Bloodletters and Bloodhowlers and Demon Princes and all that stuff without really having too many issues with that. And that's a really effective way of doing it. Because in the end, when you tell your forces to charge, if you tell them to charge, that is, because maybe you're not even going to bother telling them to charge. It might just be that you're perfectly capable of handling the situation yourself, especially as a Herald of Khorne. But yeah, I think in general, that seems like a pretty decent strategy, because look at this. I've just summoned even more of them. I'm actually going to let these guys charge in now because I don't see a reason not to. I'm going to try to eliminate the Demon Prince over here because this is the one thing that can actually deal damage. Well, not to my forces, but to me. You know, they still deal massive damage. There we go. Nice, nice. And there's only 40 units remaining. Look at that. 40 units remaining, and then we will have finally taken the last fief from the Chaos faction, and I gotta say, I'm super, super pleased about this. Really, really pleased about this, because this was, in my opinion, one of the most difficult sieges that I think I've probably ever done, but just purely because if they had even more ranged troops, because obviously we've eliminated most of their ranged troops right now, that was the reason why they really didn't have that much impact when we were going up to the front gate. But you saw how it was in the previous episode. The previous episode basically had us just completely, you know, almost 100% staggered all the time. It was making things very, very difficult indeed. Okay, so wait a second. Where are the enemies? Ah, okay. They're actually over there on the battlements. Alright, well, that's absolutely fine. Anyway, now I'm actually unsure. Now that we've taken this, I'm unsure what to do. Because, well, we're pretty much done with our mortal nemesis, shall we say. We have eliminated both of them. I mean, technically, you know, Chaos is not really a mortal nemesis of ours, but the purpose of it was just because they were at war with us, because we, you know, created our own faction. And I thought it was very, very fun to do so. However, I'm now thinking, well, what do we do now? Do we finish the series here? I'm thinking maybe we do. I don't know, because I've accomplished some pretty cool goals. We've explored the marks of Khorne and the crazy nature of them and how incredibly fun it can be. And I think that's pretty cool, you know? I like that a great deal. I don't know. Maybe it's an idea to finish the series off here and you know, check out something else. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll try to see if I'll try to see if the decision comes to me at some point in the near future, because I think to myself, well, you know, I've had a lot of fun with this, but I feel like we may have explored most of it, right? That's usually what I tend to do. If we've explored a lot of a particular class and or we become particularly powerful, then, you know, we don't really need to continue that much, right? Anyway, I'm just going to let all of these guys go. There's no real reason to keep them. We're going to be recruiting every single one of these guys. Thank you very much. Wonderful. And we got some more Fireglaves there. That's actually relatively nice. And And yeah, so the sally out strategy did end up getting us the victory, but unfortunately it was very time consuming, which I gotta say I'm kind of a bit saddened by. I thought it would be a lot faster to do it this way, but unfortunately the enemy just seemed to continue pumping units into the garrison over and over, and it was making things very, very difficult for us. But I guess it doesn't really matter too much because we were in the end victorious. And there you go, look at that, we did it. Amazing. So yeah, we are just gonna wait here for a little bit of time. I'm gonna assume that someone else is gonna declare war on us, most likely the Chaos Dwarves, because we're right next to them now. I'm actually quite surprised that the Vampire Counts or the Empire or any of these other people nearby to us haven't actually declared war yet, because we are very close by to them on this, you know, sort of southern border region here. And I would have expected that they would just be like, whoa, I'm very insulted that the Chaos are right there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm quite surprised by that. But anyway, that's probably going to be it for this episode. I don't know whether this is going to be the final episode for the series. Maybe it will be, maybe it won't be. It depends whether I find another character concept that I think is fun and interesting. And I wouldn't mind playing a Dark Elf, maybe. I'm thinking maybe a Dark Elf, because they start all the way... I don't even know where they start. They start... Where do they start? Up here. Yeah, sorry. There we go. Yeah, they start up here. And obviously they're at war against the Chaos Dwarves almost immediately, so they go over there and they attack them. As you can see, they've actually done that in this playthrough as well. But... yeah, I don't know. Obviously, with the Dark Elf, I'm pretty sure we're going to be creating something that's like a caster, like a magic user of some kind. But the problem with that is I'm not sure which school of magic. I think someone said Dar or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know anything about them, so it's going to be something that I'll have to test it out a little bit, and we'll have to see what's going on there. But this is indeed a complete and total victory for us right here, and I'm super pleased. And that's probably going to be it, as I say. I don't know, as I say, I don't know whether this is going to be the end of the series, but this is definitely the end of this particular episode. And so I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.